Hi everyone, and welcome back to your music video. So I'm just going to get my PowerPoint set up and we're going to get straight into the lesson. So let me make my screen nice and big so we can see it. Okay, so as you can see, this lesson we're going to be playing and using the glockenspiels. Now, we've not used these instruments for such a long time, so we're going to go right back to the basics and just look at how to actually play the glockenspiel. I was so close to saying ukulele then. Okay, so in today's lesson, we are going to listen and appraise. So that's where we listen to a piece of music and we comment on the music by thinking about all that music vocabulary that we've been looking at. Now, I'm not going to go over the music vocabulary because we've gone over it so much now. It should be cemented in our brains now. But you're going to listen to that song and I want you to have a chat with your class, bringing in your opinions about the music. Do you like the song? Do you not? And why? And then thinking about all that vocabulary to discuss how the song sounds. Okay, then we're going to have a look at notation, and I'll come to that a little bit later, so it might not make much sense now, but we're going to look at it in a little while. Then we're going to do some work on the glockenspiels linked to that notation, and then we're going to hopefully follow along with a song. We might also move that into next lesson as well, depending on what you get through in this lesson, because there's quite a lot to go through. So you're going to have a listen to this song here. Your teacher's now going to pause this video and you're going to listen to this music video, and then you're going to think about all that music vocabulary that we've covered so far. Okay, so let's have a look at the song. So the song was by the Beatles. You might have heard that song before. If you haven't, you might be familiar with the band and the name of the band, the Beatles, because they've been around for a really, really long time. And they're probably classed as one of the most important bands in the entire world because of the music that they created and made. And they were from the 1960s, so it's quite a long time ago now, but they're still really important to this day. So you might have spoken about some of these things. So the instruments in the song, there wasn't a lot of instruments. So we could see there was a guitar, a bass guitar, there was a tambourine used and some drums and piano. All the members of the band are male, so it was all male vocals. But if you noticed at the beginning, there was just the male singer at the beginning, and then more of the singers started to join in. You also might have thought about this word, harmonizing. We spoke about this word before, and it means having different pitches singing at the same time. So when you were listening to the song, you might have noticed that two of the singers were singing different pitches and they were harmonizing together. You might also have thought about the texture. It was quite thin at the beginning. There was only the piano, but then the tambourine came in and the drums and the guitar, and it started to thicken. The tempo, I've said, is quite medium. I don't think it was really slow, but it wasn't really fast either, so it was in the middle. And then same with the dynamics. It wasn't really quiet in any parts. It wasn't really loud. It was just really steady all the way through. So I've said that it was quite a medium sound. Okay, super. So now we're going to have a look at rhythm. So last lesson, you looked at different sounds. So we had the short sounds and the long sounds. Okay, so it was quite a, for a long sound, it was just a clap. But then when we were making those shorter sounds, it was a bit of a quicker clap. Okay, so if we have a look here on my PowerPoint, I have got some music notes. And this is all I mean when I talk about notation. It just means different notes, different musical notes that I'm using. So if we look at these notes here, they are called crotchets. And each of these crotchets is worth one beat. So that is really similar to when, well, it's exactly the same as what we were looking at last week when we were looking at our long sounds. So as you can see here at the bottom where I've put long sound, and some of you might be familiar with this from some of the lockdown videos, I told you that a good way to remember how to clap these words was to say a word out loud that represented one beat. So the word tea is just one syllable, tea. So when you're clapping these music notes, these crotchets, you could say it out loud to start with, tea. So tea, 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 tea. And it's the same as that one beat. Now, when you start to get the hang of it, and I still do it in my head now and I say tea, it helps you know how many beats to do. So for this first one, it's quite simple. It's just 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is one beat, those crotchets. If we now look at these notes, these are called quavers. And I always think of those crisps, quavers. Okay, and quavers are half a beat each. So if you can look at this note, this side of the notes here, this is half a beat. This is half a beat. So a half and a half make a whole beat. So this is where we start to think about short sounds. Okay, so a half beat and a half beat would sound like this. So again, it's that short sound, that quick clap. So here, a way to remember it is saying coffee, because we can split coffee up into 2 syllables, coffee. So if now I say this sentence, these notes, by saying coffee, you can see that it would be coffee, 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 coffee. And it's still making up those 4 beats, but we've just broken each of those notes into half beats. Okay, so it would sound like coffee, 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 coffee. See if you can have a go at that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. See if you can do this one now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's have a look at this one now. So I've mixed this up. We've got a mixture of crotchets and quavers. So we've got our shorter sound here at the beginning, coffee. Then we've got our crotchets, which are just worth 1 beat. So T, T, T. So we've got coffee, tea, tea, tea. See if you can just say that out loud without clapping first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, tea, tea. Well done. See if you can clap it now and say it out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, tea, tea. Good. See if you can do it this time without saying the words and just the clapping. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's try this line. So we've got tea, coffee, coffee, coffee. See if you can have a go. See if you can have a go at that one. I'll count you in. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Have a go at this one. If at any point you want to pause the video and go back and have another go at this, then you can do. Are we ready? We've got a coffee, tea, coffee, tea. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, coffee, tea. Super. And let's have a go at this one. We've got coffee, tea, tea, coffee. So quaver, crotchet, crotchet, quaver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, tea, coffee. Super. Okay, what we're going to do now, and I'm just going to take you off screen share so you can see me. We are now going to have a go at the exact notation that we've just done, but this time you're going to have a go on your glockenspiels. Okay, I'm just going to go through the rules of our glockenspiels because we've not played them in a long time. We've got to be super careful with these instruments because they are really delicate. So when we are hitting the keys with our sticks, we need to make sure that we're being really, really gentle so we're not breaking anything. We also need to make sure that when we're hitting them, that we're not hitting them with such force that we're going to snap the stick either. So we don't want to break the stick, we don't want to break the keys either. And when we're playing, we also need to make sure that we're being quite loose with our hand. So we're not holding the stick and just hitting down on the note. We're being quite flexible with our hand so that it bounces onto the note. Because if you listen, I've got my glockenspiel at the side here. If I play this note by just hitting and blocking the sound, then it's not going to give those vibrations off so that we can then hear the sound. So let's have a listen. This is with me holding it down. It doesn't sound very nice. I'm blocking that sound. If I'm quite flexible with my hand though, and I just bang it onto the key quite gently, let's have a listen and see what this sounds like. Okay, that sounds much better. What I would like you to do now, I would like you to open your glockenspiel case. I would like you to get your sticks ready. And in the middle of your glockenspiels, you can see the notes. In the middle is the note F. I want you to find that, and I just want you to have a quick practice hitting that note really gently so that it gives off that vibration, that sound, and it's not trapping it so that we can't hear it very well. Okay, so we should have all had a practice with that now. What we're now going to do, I'm going to bring up the PowerPoint and we're going to have a go at doing that exact rhythm that we've just done, but we're going to do it on that note in the middle of our glockenspiel, that F note. Let me just make this bigger. Okay, let's just have a go at this. So this should sound like this. So we've got those long sounds, T, 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 T. Are we ready? It would sound like this. T, 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 T. I would like you to have a go at that now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Have a go at this one. So staying on that F note though, but we're just going to do this rhythm now. So we've got coffee, 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 coffee. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, well done. Let's have a go at this one. So staying on that F note, we've got coffee, tea, tea, tea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And then let's have a go at this one. We've got tea, coffee, coffee, coffee. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tea, coffee, coffee, coffee. Super. Let's have a go at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, coffee, tea. Well done. We've got coffee, tea, tea, coffee. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee, tea, tea, coffee. Super. Okay, I would like you to pause the video and rewind it back so that you can have another go. And then your task that you're going to do, you can choose to do this either on your own or with a partner that's sat next to you. And I want you to make up your own rhythm on the glockenspiel. I want you to try and make it as interesting as you can. So don't just do those crotchets, those short, those long sounds. Try and think of a mixture of long and short sounds, so our crotchets and our quavers. And I want you to think about the tempo. What speed are you going to play? I'm thinking about the dynamics as well. Are you going to have louder sounds? Are you going to have quieter sounds? So that means that you're going to have to be quite gentle with how you're playing those notes. And then when you've had a little chance at practicing, either on your own or with your partner, you're going to do a little performance to the rest of your class.